Hey, welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. I'm your host, JR, and boy, did we have a day in the NCAA tournament for the Big Ten. The Big Ten goes 2-2 again. One game wasn't much of a fight. Illinois loses. Another game wasn't much of a fight. Michigan State wins. And then we had two fights for till the very end as Oregon falls to Arizona, but Maryland. Derik Queen hits the buzzer beater shot against Colorado State to win them the game. An absolutely fantastic game. So much fun to watch, so much fun to enjoy. Derik Queen, super happy for him. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. Do want to talk about the day first and just kind of the things we saw today. Not going to get too much into the little things, but just want to talk about the day. And that is today pretty much went the way you would think, right? UConn falls to Florida. Duke beats up on Baylor. That was a close game there. And then once halftime came, Duke starts pulling away a little bit there. And the upset of the day was unfortunately an SEC team in Ole Miss who did upset Iowa State, the 6th seed, took down the 3 seed. So we're not really huge fans of that. We also are not huge fans of the Big Ten going 0-1 in the in it all here, and or in today's day here, and that stinks. But you know what? It is what it is. Making the best of it, and Maryland moves on with a buzzer beater. That was absolutely awesome to see. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Maryland game. So Maryland wins this one 72-71. I have footage of the buzzer beater. I'm going to show you on here if you're listening on podcast and you can't see the buzzer beater. Totally fine. I'm going to talk you through it, and we'll look at it real quick. So Derik Queen hits a buzzer beater fadeaway to give Maryland a 72-71 win in this game. Absolutely fantastic. Willard, I mean, he had his team resilient the entire game. Colorado State started really, really strong in this one. It looked like they were going to pull away with it, but Maryland, they fight back, they fight back, they fight back. Julian Reese, he had a massive offensive rebound, 2 clutch free throws to give Maryland a 71-70 lead with about 20 seconds left. About 20 seconds left in the game. Colorado State's Jalen Lake comes down the floor. He hits a go-ahead three-pointer with 6 seconds left on the clock. It looks like it's over for Maryland. Maryland does advance the ball over half court, calls the timeout. Great job by Kevin Willard saving that timeout. And then they inbound the ball to Derik Queen, who drives, looks like he's cut off, not going to be able to get to the basket, shoots the buzzer beater, fade away jumper, banked it over 2 defenders, and it seals the win for Maryland in this one, 72-71 over Colorado State. So let's take a look at this buzzer beater really fast. This is from Colin McNamara 05 on Twitter. So let's take a look at this. Let me bring this down, bring this over here. All right, let's take All right, so Derik Queen gets it there, top of the key, immediately turns around, only 3.6 seconds left here. He immediately turns around, goes to the left hand, dribble, drive. He's at he collects it at the top of the key. 1, 2, bang. Bang. What a shot. What an attempt. There was some controversy on this. You know, that was possibly a travel. I mean, people, have you ever heard of gather before? I don't know. Yes, people thought it was a travel because it looked like 3 steps, but you get a step to gather, and then you get 2 steps, and then you fire the shot. So as far as I'm concerned, let's look at it again here. You guys tell me if you disagree, but I don't really see a whole lot of I don't think I can slow it down. I don't really see a whole lot of disagreeing here. Yeah, I mean, go back. Again, if you're listening on podcast, I do apologize. But watch this. I mean, gather right there. Right after that, 1, 2. Because that next one is the second one. Yeah. So gather, 1, 2, plants, fade away, bang. Win for Derik Queen. Thank you to Colin McNamara05 on Twitter. He is a Maryland reporter, does a great job. I follow him. He does a great job covering the team, listen to his podcast every now and then. So shameless plug for Colin and their podcast there. So go find Colin and them there. This was a game for Maryland where it looked dicey throughout, right? It didn't look good for them in this one, but Derik Queen comes away as the hero of the game with the game winner. In this game, Derik Queen he played 33 minutes, 17 points. He did have 3 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, 6 rebounds, but he had 2 blocks in the game, adding to his defense. Julian Reese was pivotal with I think it was Kevin Willard that said thousands of rebounds. It really had 11, but still, it was a double-double for him, 15 points, 11 rebounds in this game. 1 assist, 1 steal. I mean, this is what you need from your leader, right? This is what you need in Julian Reese to come through in the clutch. Well, not so much in the clutch, but in this game, he does get the offensive rebound, which was in the clutch, and hits the foul shots there. I mean, but like that's another thing about Julian Reese. His foul shots have not been a strength to his game. He improved those this season. It comes in clutch here, late in. You can tell it's late with how I'm yawning because right now, I mean, it's another NCAA tournament after dark because it's 12:30 at night. And that's just it is what it is at this point. Thankfully, tomorrow night I'm gonna get some sleep. But Derik Queen, 17 points. Julian Reese, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Improves his free throw shooting. It was a huge piece for them in this game. Rodney Rice as well. He was the key in a second half rally with some really aggressive shooting. Even though he was 1 for 8 early, he stayed confident. He scored 16 points in this game, vital in overcoming the halftime deficit of 37-30. In addition to those 16 points, he also had 1 assist, 4 rebounds. But Jacoby Gillespie, even though only 11 points in this game, he was the facilitator. 7 assists, 4 steals for Jacoby Gillespie. 4 steals for him. The bench was not, what you hoped it would be. Deshaun Harris-Smith airballed a 3-pointer. Now, could have got hit on the hand. He was kind of holding his hand after that 3-pointer. So, maybe that's the issue there. Jordan Geronimo also shot a 3-pointer. He missed it. Jordan Geronimo had the only points of this game, though, off the bench. 2 points off the bench. 2 points off the bench. And while the defense can get better with some of these guys, overall, it's not good enough offensively for Maryland. The bench put them in a tough spot here by not being able to score. Now, the bench overall, 3 players did only play 21 minutes in this game. Everybody else on this team, other than Derik Queen, played 36 minutes or more. Derik Queen gave you 33 minutes, but still. And part of those was because Derik Queen got popped in the mouth and he had to come out for a little bit. So Derik Queen probably would have even played more time for you if he didn't get popped in the mouth. He was trying to get a foul call there, but to no effect for him. But it's all good. Derik Queen hits the game winner. Derik Queen is sending his team to the Sweet 16 to face off with Florida. Florida versus Derik Queen and in Maryland in this one. I'm going to try to check really fast who else is in that bracket because I forget. Give me just a second here. Just a second. There we go. All right. Printable bracket. There we go. Yeah, so the Sweet 16 in that bracket left is Florida, Maryland, Texas Tech, and that's right. Oregon was down there. No. That's Arkansas. So Florida, Maryland, Texas Tech, Arkansas. If Maryland is able to beat Florida, which is a huge task on its own, but UConn almost took Florida down, so they do look susceptible. If Maryland can take down Florida, they will face either Texas Tech or the Cinderella left in the tournament, Arkansas, the 10 seed, and see if they can win out in that one. Just absolutely phenomenal for Maryland. They are the 4th Big Ten team that makes it to the Sweet 16. Absolutely awesome. 1/4 of the Sweet 16 comes from the Big Ten, considering the Big Ten only got 8 teams into the tournament. Absolutely fantastic from them. So Willard, I mean, he had a lot to say after this game, a lot of positive to say. say about this game, just how resilient his team was, his team's character, everything else. I mean, looking back a little bit on Seton Hall at points and just what he has now, and you think about it, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for Maryland and Willard, right? He's being rumored for the Villanova job, and then the athletic director leaves for SMU, but he still has to negotiate with the athletic director, and that athletic director is talking about possibly giving him more resources, and all the while he's just trying to get his guys to win these basketball games. They take it in this one over the 12 seed Colorado State, who was looking like a possible Cinderella in this game with what they were able to do against Maryland, but overall, it doesn't happen. Maryland, they got down pretty big. What was the biggest one? 24-12 with about 10 minutes left in the first half, and then they just kept cutting. They eventually took the lead in the second half, and then they relented the lead again, back and forth until finally Maryland takes it overall. Maryland did get out rebounded in this game, 39-29. It wasn't nearly as bad as that Michigan game when they only had I think it was 18 rebounds in that one, but still, Maryland gets the job done. Huge props to Maryland. Huge props to Kevin Willard. Kevin Willard, a coach that I didn't necessarily believe in last year. He is showing that he is a coach that we can believe in now in everything he's doing. So Derby said, I was just told another Big Ten team just fell. West Coast team. I hope not. But that's the rumor. Yes, unfortunately, Oregon did fall. Yeah, we'll talk about them here in a second. We're going with the positive mood first here, Derby. With the positive mood, but yeah, that's what I got on Maryland for us. So let's switch on over to Michigan State, as Michigan State also moving on in the tournament. They top New Mexico, a 10 seed. Tom Izzo, he praised his guys for their character. I mean, they were down early in this one as well. Let me see, let me pull up my stats here. Just a second. It's harder when you do these things on your own. You got to go back and forth. All right. Yeah, so Michigan State went down 24-14, so they weren't down huge, but they were down enough to give them kind of a scare in this one. And then Michigan State comes back, and then about the 7-minute mark, that's when Michigan State really turns it on, pulls away. I mean, it's classic Michigan State at this point. The depth they are able to play with just wears teams out, and they get to pull away the final 7, 6, 5 minutes of the game. That's exactly what they do to New Mexico in this one. New Mexico wasn't able to keep up with them. They weren't able to relent. And even though Michigan State, they shoot 27% from three in this game, it looked like a real issue for them. They have good defense on New Mexico. New Mexico only shoots 31% from three in this game. And even though Michigan State shot 44% from the field, New Mexico shoots 48% from the field. It's the defense, it's the grit, it's the attitude that Michigan State has to win this ball game. New Mexico's hot start, 48% shooting overall. Like I said, gave them 12. What was it at the half? They gave them a 2-point lead at the half there. They had some threes. They were able to make some shots over Michigan State. Michigan State was down 10, 24-14, but the defensive clamp down late in the first half is really what brought that back to the 2-point deficit. And the final 7 minutes of the game, New Mexico just didn't have the offense to be able to stay with Michigan State. Michigan State got their guys. Cohen Carr said that they had pride to stop the sparking offense for New Mexico. And Jaden Akins, go ahead three, takes the lead, 7 minutes left in the second half. New Mexico led at the 14:31 mark, and it gave Michigan State the edge, followed by a timeout that sustained the lead, boosting their confidence all the way to the end. Fantastic performance by them. There weren't any real big questionable calls or anything like that, but I mean, this was a game where Michigan State really, really struggled offensively. You look at some of their starters: Jackson Kohler, 4 points; Zapala, 4. Well, I mean, he doesn't really play that much. He didn't play 11 minutes in this game, but he only has 4 points. Jace Richardson only 6 points. Really, it came down to Jaden Akins in this one, the senior, number 3. Jaden Akins, I believe the only 4-year player on this team. I think they said that during the broadcast. Oh yeah, well, Frankie Fiddler, he's a senior too, but he wasn't with Michigan State all 4 years. But I mean, him getting 16 points in this game, Frankie Fiddler getting 10 points. Frankie Fiddler really showed some things in this game, taking contact under the basket, being able to hit the shot. Was really, really impressed with him. He had a driving layup that was impressive as well. Some good cutting from Fiddler in this game. I mean, that's what you want. Like, he gave them vital physical minutes in this game. Only 18 minutes overall, but you could tell he was in the game. This is what you expect from a Tom Izzo team, right? It's not necessarily been Jaden Akins and Frankie Fiddler that have saved the team all season long, but it was in this game. Jace Richardson doesn't get going. He was 0 for 5 from 3 in this game. He did go 4 for 4 from the free throw line, but 1 for 10, 0 for 5 from 3. Jace Richardson did not have it this game, but luckily for them, Jaden Akins improves his three-point percentage, going 2 for 4 from 3, 7 for 11 overall, 30 points, 30 minutes, 16 points in this one. It's a classic story. The seniors didn't want to lose it, and they made it happen. Congrats to Jaden Akins. Congrats to those guys. Fantastic, fantastic performance. So, all right. Now the not as fun stuff. Talking about the losses. Oregon does lose to Arizona 87 to what was it? 83 in this one, I think it was. 87 to I got that wrong. There we go. 87 to 83. Yes, I got that right. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong link there for a second. 87 to 83 against Oregon. I mean, Oregon, they got down early in this game, kind of like it's been happening to most of the other Big Ten teams in this one. They got down early. At one point, they were down 14, I believe, was their largest deficit in this game. No, 15, because I apologize. Oregon wasn't down. Oregon was up in this game, 19 to 4. Arizona State found a way to relent, come back, and they eventually took the lead late in the first half. They didn't relent from there. They were able to keep the lead for the entire rest of the time, but boy, did it get shaky there at the end of the game as Oregon, tons of seniors on this team. You could tell they just wanted to keep playing. They just wanted one more chance. 2 minutes left in the game. That's when everything started to turn, though. That's when everything started to happen because Oregon is down 74 to 80, and Oregon has a turnover that goes to a botched alley-oop, right? Two guys on Arizona go up for the alley-oop. It was a terrible mistake by the two of them. All you got to do is finish it. All you got to do is finish the alley-oop, but two guys go up. They fumble it. The ball comes back down the court. Oregon hits a three, and it was absolutely spectacular. Oregon comes back 77 to 80 in this one. Arizona then goes to the foul line. They go 0 for 2, but missing the rebound. Nate Biddle gets the ball poked away from him, but of course, when the ball's poked away, it goes off his hands last. Arizona gets another chance. They don't convert. Nate Biddle gets the rebound, goes down the court, hits a 2-point hook shot, and it is 78 to 80 in this one, and it looked like they had a chance. Now, there was a questionable call with an inbound pass. I guess before the inbound pass, they did knock the ball away from the Arizona player. So they get the ball in like the very corner kind of area, which is such an awkward place to throw the ball in. They elect to throw the ball down deep the court, and the ball gets knocked away by Caleb Love, and the Oregon player Bartholomew, he tips the ball, it looks like, to throw it out of bounds, but when they go back on replay, he actually hits the hand of Caleb Love instead, and they can't turn it into a foul, so they just have to say ball out on Arizona. TJ Bamba goes with trying to hit the basket to tie the game up. He can't hit it. I didn't like the decision to go with Bamba there. Bamba did have, he did have close to 20 points in this game. I didn't like the decision, though. And maybe it wasn't necessarily their final decision to go to him, because when he drove, they still had time on the clock. In my opinion, kick it to Shellstad, kick it to Nate Biddle, kick it to somebody. I like the thought of possibly putting it up and, see if you can get an offensive rebound or something like that. But none of the Oregon players had position, because none of the Oregon players were ready for him to put it up. They didn't pin. They didn't get the guy off of Bamba. Bamba has to shoot a fadeaway. No chance of an offensive rebound in that one. And that's when the fouling for Oregon started. Now, the free throw attempts were not great for Arizona. So they left they left a spot for Oregon to come back, but unfortunately for Oregon, Arizona knows how to foul, went up 3, and that was ultimately the deficit. I don't know how you guys feel about foul up 3. I hate it because it just seems like the easiest thing to do. And to me, I don't want that. Like, this is why I'm in favor of the NCAA basketball, moving the ball up the court when you get a timeout, right? Free throw, ball gets hit, call a timeout, move the ball up the court, put it up there. That way you can get to a catch and shoot situation for these 3-point leads to not be so detrimental for the other team, because you can foul them and then you stop any chance they have. Really, I mean, you could miss the free throw and maybe you get the rebound, but more often than not, you're not going to do that. So it really takes it out. It takes it away from it. I hope the college basketball game moves to that scenario that the NBA does, where you call a timeout on the baseline, you can advance the ball up over half court, but doesn't look like they're going to be doing that anytime soon. So it stinks. It is what it is, but Oregon falls in this one. Unfortunately, Oregon's going to be losing a lot of seniors in this one. TJ Bamba, Supreme Cook, Keyshawn Bartholomew, Brandon Angel. I wrote TJ Bamba again, but the last one is Nate Biddle. A lot of guys for Oregon. This was an old senior-laden team, and it looked like they had a chance to come out over Arizona in this one, move on to the Sweet 16. It just doesn't happen. Oregon's pretty much left at this point with Jackson Shellstad and Kwame Evans Jr., both good players. I mean, Jackson Shellstad was fantastic in this game for a large part of it. What was his stats? Jackson Shellstad had 25 points. 2 assists, 1 rebound. Nate Biddle, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. He is such a natural passer down there under the basket, especially when he gets double teamed. TJ Bamba, 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds in this game. Did run into a little bit of foul trouble there with 4 fouls at the end of the game, but it didn't really affect him much because of the foul in there at the end of the game. But overall, tough way to lose for Oregon. Looking forward to next year. We'll see what Jackson Shellstad is. We'll see what Kwame Evans Jr. is. But Altman, I trust Altman in the portal. He does a really good job of going out, getting guys in the portal, and making that happen. So I trust Dana Altman in the portal. We'll see what he can do, and we'll go from there. All right, Illinois fans. I know we got a few Illinois fans that listen. So this was heartbreak for Illinois, and it kind of started at the very beginning of the game, because the turnovers just were absolutely crazy in this game. I think in the first 4 minutes, Kasparis Giaconis had 4 turnovers by himself, resulted in him getting benched, right? There really wasn't any other option. Brad Underwood had to bench KJ in this one. And crazy enough, like, I think, in the past, we blamed Brad Underwood for the losses because of his poor coaching. This one wasn't on Brad Underwood poor coaching or anything like that. This was turnovers and missed free throws in this game. Let's see. Let me pull it up here. In this game, Illinois, they don't do a great job of shooting their free throws. Illinois goes 12 for 19, so it wasn't anything like absolutely terrible, but just not good enough shooting free throws. You combine that with the 14 turnovers in this game, just wasn't enough for Illinois. They have a lot of really good players. They have a lot of stars on this team, but Will Riley was not enough. Only 5 points from him. Trey White only gave you 8 points, unfortunately, on 31 minutes. I don't know what the future looks like for Trey White. I think Trey White has a good spot on this team next year, and I think Illinois fans probably want him back. But in this game, it wasn't enough for him. Ben Hummerkaus plays 13 minutes in this game, only gives you 2 points. But overall, Kylan Boswell was the star of the game. 23 points in this game. Had some really, really strong defense on Kentucky, but unfortunately for Illinois, their defense just isn't there. Their drop coverage is not strong enough off their pick and roll game, and Illinois has to do something to address this defense in the offseason. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's players. I think Kylan Boswell, really, really good defender. He'll be a senior next year, so they got him coming back. Trey White, he's going to be a senior next year as well, but part of me thinks it's more the coaching, right? I was impressed with this Illinois team, with the defense early on in the year. And then that's kind of what made me not believe in their ceiling as much, is because they didn't have the consistent defense that you needed. and ultimately that's one of the main factors that contributes to Illinois losing out in this one. Turnovers and defense. Just not enough defense from him. Tomislav Visic, though, he was fantastic in this game. 19 points, 4 blocks, 3 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, Tomislav Visic is doing everything he can. If you're an Illinois fan, you are hoping and praying Visic comes back next year. He's going to be a player you can build off of. And really, I mean, I don't buy into as much of like this is a young team type of deal. I do think you had young stars on this team. That's more of what I buy into. I don't so much buy into we were just such a young team. But because you did have guys like Colin Boswell, you did have guys like Trey White, Ben Hummerkaus, stuff like that. But you had stars on this team like Kasparis Jakonas, Will Riley, and Tomislav Visic is really a freshman. He's listed as a sophomore, but he really should be a freshman. And so you did have young guys on this team. I just didn't think it was like an all freshman team. Sometimes when you call somebody a young team or something like that. So, but the good news is for Illinois, you go to the Elite Eight last year. You have a fantastic season. You have the opportunity next year to bring back Kylan Boswell, Trey White, Tomislav Visic, Merez Johnson. If you can acquire a star scorer, a veteran star scorer, right? Kind of like a Terrence Shannon Jr., a John Tonji. AJ Storr wasn't it this year, but if AJ Storr could have been that for Kansas this year, that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. Looking for some kind of star you can put on this team that is not a freshman. You cannot go out and rely on a freshman type of player to be your star. Again, that's no shot at Kasparis Jakonas. Kasparis Jakonas is going to be drafted in the NBA, and he's going to be a really good player. He was just too young. He wasn't relied upon enough. And Kylan Boswell, give him a ton of credit. He did everything he possibly could in this game to try and bring him back. But Kylan Boswell, he's a really nice player. I really like his game. But he's not Terrence Shannon Jr. He's not Marcus Domask. He's not one of these veteran guys who can just go and get you a bucket. And I think that's what Kasparis Jakonas needed this season. He needed somebody else to be the number one option. He needed a veteran to be that guy. I mean, you look at this, the scoring on this team for most of the year. And I guess not most of the year, but here at the end of the year, your first, second, third option was some combination of Kasparis Jakonas, Will Riley, and somebody else. Sometimes it was Tomislav Visic, sometimes it was Kylan Boswell, whatever it was. Like you needed that, and I think if you could have just had a consistent number one option that was a veteran all season long, that'd have been huge for him. So hats off to Will Riley, Kasparis Jakonas. They're going to the NBA. Ben Hummerkaus, I believe, is a graduate senior, so he should be moving on. I think somebody was talking about a waiver or something he might apply for, but I don't think he's going to get that, even if he does. That's just my opinion. We'll see. But yeah, so you do have guys on this team you can build around. Guys are going to be seniors next year. Can Brad Underwood go out and get the proper guys? You cannot have another 10-man turnaround. You cannot have another year where you go out and get 10 new guys. You got to keep your base. You got to keep White, Boswell, Visic, Johnson. You got to keep your base, work off of that, bring in a star player, bring in a good defender, and really turn it into something for your team. So, final thing we have to discuss before we get out of here is that Iowa is finalizing a deal with Drake's head coach, Ben McCollum. Now, I've not seen this, officially done yet, but insiders for Iowa are saying that they're working on a deal right now, so we'll see if it's going to happen. Overall, I tend to think that it will, but if I'm Iowa, this is a great hire. This is what you wanted, right? I still think DeVries might have been the better option, but if you're not going to have NIL for him, then it doesn't sound like you would have been happy there. Ben McCollum has been a fantastic coach at the Division II level. He goes to Drake, wins a game in the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, they fall to who'd they fall to in the next round? I forget who it was, but they fall in the second round yesterday. And so they don't move on, but it does give Iowa time to hire him, bring him in. And the thing that I like most about Ben McCollum is Iowa has some NIL issues right now, and I think Ben McCollum is the right kind of guy who can overcome those NIL issues. Now, there's only so much you can do in the Big Ten where you do have some teams that are going to be heavy spenders this year. I'm looking at Indiana. I'm looking at Ohio State. I'm looking at UCLA. Like there are some teams that are going to be spending pretty big in the transfer portal this year, and Ben McCollum's going to have to go up against those teams. Now, it does sound like he's bringing Sturts and maybe a couple other guys from Drake with him, so that's good. Can the really slow pace of Drake basketball work in the Big Ten? Is he going to bring that with him? Is he going to move to something else? We'll see. We'll see. I think if you are at an NIL deficit and you're not able to pay players as much, it's been pretty widely reported at this point. It doesn't sound like anything's changing, drastically. Maybe they'll get some more funding, but it doesn't sound like anything is changing drastically. I think Ben McCollum was the right hire to do that for you. He might be able to play Texas Tech beat Drake. Thank you, Derby. Appreciate that. I was like, who was that again? Texas Tech. Thank you, Derby. I do think that Iowa has a good opportunity here with Ben McCollum, but at the end of the day, like, you have to find a way to support Ben McCollum, whether that's with your revenue sharing, whether that's with your NIL, whatever it is. Like, you have to find a way to support Ben McCollum. He's a good coach. He did it at the D2 level. He got to the NCAA tournament in his first year and won a game in his first year at Drake. It wasn't just all leftovers from DeVries when he was there. So, but I like this overall. You're bringing DeVries to Indiana. You're bringing Ben McCollum to Iowa. I love Big Ten teams going out and finding good head coaches, bringing them in. It's just going to make the Big Ten even more difficult to deal with next year. All right, that's the show for you. Really, really appreciate everybody being here. Really appreciate Derby, you being in the chat, helping me out there when I think of things that I can't always look them up right away. So really appreciate everybody, all the time you give to listen to the Big Ten Huddle. Whether it's after dark, whether it's football, whatever it is, I appreciate it. We'll be watching the Big Ten. 4 teams in the Sweet 16 for the Big Ten. Pretty good turnout. Would like to see some more teams beat up on the SEC, but we'll have to leave that to you, Michigan State. Do it against Ole Miss. Beat them up on them for us. All right, everybody. We appreciate it. Have a good one.